Hi, this is George Sears, and this is a video about how I create my pad sounds. This was another request from one of my fans, and they were curious about how I approach the subject of creating a pad sound, so let's just do that. The synth that I like to use the most is the free synth, Synth1. Virtual Analog Synthesizer, Synth1. Yeah, it's a free plugin. You can get it on KVR. And for this tutorial, I'm going to be using primarily this one. The reason is because I'm used to creating pad sounds inside this thing. I'm going to try to create some pad sounds in Serum also, so you can get an idea how to create these kind of sounds in more common synths, the ones that people use more, instead of this thing. Let's hear what are we going to create. Let's mute this, let's allow this, and so this is the first one we are going to try to recreate in Synth1, and the second one sounds like this. Like you're on the beach, having a drink, watching the sunset. Yeah, it sounds really like a ATB kind of pad. ATB, I mean something from his album Dedicated. Yeah, I even named it ATB Summer Pad. But anyway, yeah. So what is this? Basically, two oscillators. One is square wave. The second one is a triangle. We have sub-oscillator. We have delay and chorus on it. Unison. And bit of modulation. As I can see, it's pitch modulation for oscillator 2. The oscillators are synchronized between each other. The most important part when creating a pad is the filter. If you use filter, if you use the correct amount of filtering, low-pass filtering, with the right amount of resonance, saturation, you will create a nice, rich pad. It's easy to fall down the path when you will just create a super saw pad and put a little bit of filtering on it and you're all set. Yeah, you can do that, but we're here to create something more interesting, something that you won't hear very often. Let's load up another session. Copy these nodes, let's disable these. Open up this thing and turn down the volume a bit. And right now it sounds like this. You can easily create a deadmau5-like lead if you just take a filter and put it under filter a bit. Yeah, pretty easy. But anyway, let's create a pad. So first, let's set up the envelope, the amplifier envelope. So let's raise the attack and let's raise the release. So it has a nice attack, longer attack and longer release. So actually when the notes play, it has a nice ongoing and offgoing feel, because we want to make a nice atmosphere, right? One thing to keep in mind when creating pads with a long attack and release is to watch the maximum amount of voices that your synthesizer can play. In Synth1, we can actually take a look at this bottom right corner, and you can see how much polyphony is your melody with the combination of your effects you're using out of your synth. And if you're going overboard with your resources, it will actually overlap, and you can visually see it. But if you don't have such a thing, you will have to hear it by your ear. If you're out of polyphony, the next chord will actually cut the release, and you will hear the cut yourself. So that means you're out of polyphony, and you will have to adjust your settings a little bit. But anyway, let's move on. So right now I've set up my filter frequency. I'm using a 24 decibels per octave low pass filter, and I did put a lot of resonance there and a little bit of saturation. These are built in, of course. So let's move over here. I'm gonna try square pulse wave. Square wave. It's pulse. So yeah. And we're gonna mix it with a little bit of saw, higher pitched. I hate this block. Yeah, higher pitch. We're gonna synchronize them, or let's try it with and without. Yeah, one little thing to keep in mind: if you're going to introduce another oscillator, be sure to actually turn on the volume of that oscillator, like here. This little knob, FM, is actually a frequency modulator. It means that the second oscillator's frequency modulates the first oscillator's wave. So that means that this saw waveform will modulate this square wave. Yeah. Let's introduce some frequency modulation. We can barely hear it, but it might or might not make a difference in the end, so we'll see. We might play along with the settings as we create a pad. And now let's try to introduce some detune between these two oscillators. Every bit of amount of anything on a synthesizer might create a completely different sound. Not completely, but just a little bit. So you can hear that when I turn the detune from 0 to 2 or 3, 4, it actually affects the final sound and sounds different every time the number increases. So keep an eye on this tube filling up with numbers and white color. "16 sounds awesome. Let's move on." Of course, this is not the end. We can add tons of things to make our pads sound more pleasant to the ears. So let's go to the LFO section. You can assign your LFOs to oscillator 2 or oscillator 1 and 2 pitch parameters. You can assign to filter, frequency, amplitude, pulse width, which is this knob here, FM amount, which is this knob here, and panorama. Nothing else. It doesn't have a complicated matrix, but that's oftentimes kind of kills the productivity. Anyway, so we're gonna route the first LFO, this one, to oscillator 1 and 2 pitch amount. We're gonna select. Let's go with. Actually, let's keep the triangle waveform. And now my little secret is to put the amount on 3. Shit, I hate this bug. Okay, let's put the amount on 3. And the speed somewhere around 100. Okay, let's hear. Yeah, the 100 speed is for arpeggiator sound. I forgot that for pad sounds it actually works around 50 or 60. Right now, I'm trying to use sub-oscillator to beef up the sound a bit. Just a little bit. Something like that, yeah. Let's try chorus. Alright, so I introduced the chorus. There's nothing really much to explain here. The time, the depth, the rate, the feedback, and the level means the mix between the original signal and the chorus effect, the chorus output. So yeah, this is it. This is the you can if you select 1 times 1, it actually works as a flanger, and if you select something between 2 and 4, it sounds like chorus. So yeah, this is the chorus. It always makes pad sound better. As you could see, I slowly introduced the level back, so the rate was kind of fast, but I wanted to keep it that way and just introduce the chorus up a bit and finding the right amount by slowly going, not point by point, but slowly going up until I found the right amount. So let's move on to Unison. This is a big one. Unison can do lots of stuff. It can right here. It can spread the stereo. It can the Unison voices can be put to different pitch, so you can keep the pitch of the voices of the Unison in the same level of as your original sound, or you can increase the pitch up to 24, or decrease the pitch minus 24 cents. So let's play with the Unison a bit. Be careful when playing with spread with a stereo width. You can fuck up your phase. Be sure to double check with mono every time. Yeah, still sounds good in mono, so okay. Unison takes a lot of voices out of your resources, so be careful with working with that. For pad sounds, it's really dangerous to set a higher amount of Unison voices because they take a lot of resources. Let's play with the filter again. This is the pulse width. And by that, I'm modifying the width of this square oscillator. You can try to initialize the phase. No, let's keep it running free, it sounds more interesting. Okay, and that's about it. That's the first demonstration of how to create a Synth1 pad sound. Holy shit, this took longer than I expected. So I'm gonna separate this episode into two parts. First part is going to be this Synth1, and the second part is going to be when I create a pad in Serum. So I think that's gonna be more interesting to you than this little thing, but if this caught your eye, I highly recommend this. This synth is very good and it's free. So yeah, my name was George Sears. This was first part of how to create your own pad sounds, and catch you later. Bye.